Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again on Food for Thought. And today we have a special edition of Food for Thought. It is Ask a Priest Day today, and part of the reason that we are doing this Ask a Priest is because we were originally scheduled to be at the renewal of vows at the Episcopal Church Center or ECC camp in Rhode Island. To do our renewal of vows, and I was supposed to be up there with other priests. And today, because it was raining and it's an outdoor experience, we had to cancel it, and it's rescheduled to be next Tuesday in the same place. So we'll be actually doing some taping for on next Tuesday. And so Ben and I just thought we'd do an Ask a Priest session today live, and want to thank you for being here and connecting with us. So if you are here, please do connect and tell us that you're here. Tell us that you're watching. Stevie is watching. I think Yvonne is watching, and Donna is watching. So thank you, and I hope that you will continue to connect with us. And also, when we come back on Tuesday, when we are on Tuesday at ECC, I hope that you'll connect with us. We'll probably speak with a couple of priests as well from there, and maybe even perhaps even the bishop will be with us and talk, Bishop Nisley, and about the experience. Now, one of the questions that we have is, why do priests renew their vows? And I think this is an appropriate one for today, and I was talking to Ben about this a bit before. Why is it necessary for us to renew the sense of who we are? And I think, and I told Ben, and I think this is an appropriate one. When we in the Episcopal Church, we are a community. We believe in community, and our priests believe that we're a part of a community, the community of God, and a community that is, the Church Universal, but then broken down into our diocese. It is a community of priests, within priests and clergy people, including deacons, who are in community with one another. And sometimes it feels so lonely to be out in different places throughout the territory of Rhode Island or wherever diocese you are. It's hard because sometimes you feel like you're doing ministry and no one seems to understand. And being a priest and a clergy person is different. You're called to leadership in a church, and sometimes you can't open yourself in the way that you want to in terms of the parish, because parishioners may not understand what you're thinking about, or how what kind of problems you might have or challenges you might have, or how to approach the gospel, and connecting it with this community that you're serving. And so when we get together as leaders, as priests and deacons, we talk with one another. It's kind of like every year we do a family reunion where we are able to connect again with other brothers and sisters and leaders in our community that and help and encourage one another. And sometimes it isn't only about encouragement. It's also about telling the truth to one another. Helping us to see different perspectives and to be in deep conversation and with our brothers and sisters all over the diocese. Now, what happens invariably is that at that renewal of vows, we have great conversations with one another. We sit down, we eat together, we share a meal together, we also laugh together, and sometimes, of course, we get angry with each other, just like family members often do. But then at the end of it, the bishop calls us all together into a service, and that service is Eucharist based. I mean, it's usually around communion, and he gives us a message, helping us to understand the values that we share together, and and articulates a message, even helping us to understand the challenges we face, right? And then connecting us to one another, and helping us to hear the good news that God is in the midst of whatever we're going through. I mean, in the midst of the COVID-19 struggle this year, but previous years it was something totally different, and in the coming years it might be something even more different. But we connect with one another, helping and encourage one another. So it's a wonderful experience. And then we, of course, renew our vows that we made to the bishop. At our installation and even our ordination, where we the priest would say that we will obey you, our bishop, as we continue to proclaim God's good news in the world, and the deacons in the same way. So it's a beautiful experience for us. And then of course we share the Eucharist together. We come together around the altar and reminding ourselves that what draws us together is the love of God and the sacrifice of God. And then we look across the rails, across this altar, to see our brothers and sisters, and there's a sense of joy and hope there. I always find it uplifting and joyful, and helps me to be re-energized to do ministry back in my community in Westerly and Stonington. So that's one of the reasons why we do it. It's kind of to connect with one another. It's to kind of help us to remember that we share values, that we're not alone, that we have people that we could turn to, other leaders that we could turn to, that we could talk about in terms of issues and challenges that we face as individuals, individual priests and deacons in our local communities. And so it's a wonderful experience. It's a great experience, and I really appreciate our Bishop Isley for organizing this every year. And this year is going to be particularly wonderful, I hope. I have a sense it will be, because we've been so isolated from one another. We haven't been able to gather together in other times throughout the year. And so this year in particular, I think there's going to be an importance in our gathering together, in our sharing of time with one another. My hope is that we'll continue to laugh and be joyful, and of course encourage one another in our ministry and the common call that God has given us to proclaim the good news in our local communities. That in a nutshell is why I think these renewal of vows are so important. So Tuesday, when we come back, hopefully you'll be able to see some of that as well. Until then, I hope that you have a great day, that you find the presence of God around you, that you will continue to connect with community and find joy and hope and possibility, knowing that God has gifted us with this wonderful world. And in the midst of these challenges, we are engaging this wonderful world and the people in it with love and hope and joy. God bless you, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.